Welcome back to Breakfast with Bob. My name is Bob Babbitt. Boston Marathon Edition, 120th edition of the Boston Marathon. We're presented by Hyland's Leg Cramps, Stop the Cramps, Not Your Race, and by NormaTec Pulse Recovery System. And I know both you guys are just doing a little NormaTec. We've got Tim and Helen Christoni. How are you both doing?
Great, how are you?
We are wonderful. So, Tim, talk a little bit about the fact that you guys travel a ton to races. And do you stay together when you run?
Some races we do. For example, last year we got married the day before or the night before the Big Sur Marathon.
Yes.
And we ran that one the next day together. And then we did our honeymoon race in Athens at the Athens Marathon, and we ran that one together. So sometimes we run them together. Tomorrow or this weekend at the 120th running of the Boston Marathon, she's going to start a couple waves behind me, and we're both going to race it at our own pace.
Oh, your own pace.
Right.
Okay. So how did you guys meet? How long you been together? And fuse this guy a little closer.
We met in a bar.
You met in a bar?
Yeah.
As all good things happen in bars.
Yes.
And how long ago?
We met in a bar probably like 18 years ago, and then, our lives kind of took different paths, and we reconnected probably, 3 or 4 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago. And were you runners back 18 years ago?
No.
No, you were
Absolutely
in a
not.
bar because you were partiers.
We
You're
were
like that.
rock and rollers.
You were rock and rollers.
Total rock and rollers, yeah.
So when you reconnected three years ago, you were both runners at that point?
Yeah. Well, 3 years ago, I think I was starting to get serious into running a lot more, running, and then starting to get into triathlons.
Yes.
And then
I was like a 5-mile runner.
Okay.
So a couple laps of the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, and that was it for me.
Love that.
Yeah.
But you guys are between Facebook and Twitter and blogs. You're sort of reaching out to other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what are your goals?
I think my goal right now for me is always just to race healthy.
Yes.
And my next big challenge after the race on Monday is I'm doing my first 100K in Vermont in July.
And what's been the draw of it seems like you're going longer and longer. What is the draw?
I think for me personally, number one is they feed you stuff like chocolate at the aid stations.
Yes,
Like,
I like that. Okay.
I'll do
Pretzels,
anything.
chocolate.
Yeah, chips, potato, they feed you.
Yes.
So, number one. And number two, I like that you get to meet more people along the course. It's a little bit more social while you're out there, and it's just not as hard on the body for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you guys got married last year, you ran Boston before that, right? So it's like the back-to-back. You did the back-to-back and got married in between.
Right. Yeah, one marathon on this coast, get married then go back to LA, drive up to Carmel, get married there, and then do the Big Sur Marathon the next day.
How many total marathons? Do you have any idea between marathons and ultras? How many you've done?
For me, it's right around 40 plus, I don't know, another 20 or so half marathons, handful of half Ironmans, one Ironman.
What's the draw?
For me, look, I just wanted to look good naked. That's one thing that kind of drew me at first to doing this stuff to try to get more healthy.
Right.
But as I've gone further from the half marathon, the marathon, the Ironman, and then the 100 milers. I found it's inspired so many people to come out of their shell and believe that they can do more than they even think is possible.
Right.
So I've been inspired by a bunch of people along the way that have helped drive me to try that next distance or that next event. And through social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Cheetah Vision, people are telling me all the time that they were inspired to go out and do their first 5K, 10K, half marathon, and even Ironman or 50, 100-mile races.
So you're reaching out through the social and sort of telling your story and trying to let people know that, hey, we're not some Uber athletes. We're just like you.
No, we're definitely not Uber athletes. Although we do train hard, we work hard, we train hard, and we play hard. But for me, it's really cool to see that people light up when they realize that they can change their life by getting out and being active and doing something different than what they ever thought was possible.
So talk a little bit about how are people finding you, and what messages are resonating with them?
It's interesting. When I first started, we didn't really have I mean, we had a totally different set of friends, I guess I'll say. So over time, you meet different people from going to one event to the next, and then this, especially in the triathlon world or in the ultra running world, you start meeting different people. And I found that a lot of those other people that were in my life before just kind of worked their way out of my life, and then I've replaced them, with 10 times as many people that are way more positive, and have driven me to do and inspired me to do so much more than I ever thought was possible.
Yes.
So that resonates, with people as they see me changing my life and changing the people I surround myself with, like my family and old friends, and they've seen the change that's happened in my life, and I think it's inspired them to make changes in their own lives.
What changes did you make? I mean, in terms of what were you dealing with?
Like I said, we were rock and rollers.
Musicians?
Well, no, just like...
You followed the rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah, the rock and roll lifestyle.
You were partiers.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
So, you do that, and that has effects on your body.
Yes.
And it has effects on your professional life. So, if you want to make a change, you start changing things, going out and running a 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon, it absolutely changes your life. You start learning about nutrition.
Right.
You start learning about discipline. You start learning about rest, and it really focuses you and makes you a more well-rounded, better person. So,
how do people find you online to find out more about what you guys are doing?
I'm at Mrs. Beauty Biz on Instagram.
Okay.
And Helen Christoni on Facebook.
Love it. Tim and Helen, thank you so much for taking time. And what are the goals for Monday? How fast?
I'm trying to break 340.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting for my first sub 3 in Boston.
Sub 3 in Boston.
I've had six sub 3 marathons, but none here in Boston. I'm hoping lucky number 7 is on Monday here in Boston.
If you go sub 3 of Boston, that's going.
It's going to happen.
I love that. Thanks, Tim and Helen.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
Hold on, everybody. We will be right back.